Sir, 2 minutes, Murali sir vandone ஆரம்பிச்சிடலாம் sir.
No problem.
Hello. Vanakkam, vanakkam, vanakkam.
Sir, namaskaram sir. Thank you.
Greetings to the esteemed guests and our dear audience. I, Sri Varsha Bhukia, on behalf of ALBE Academy, in association with Sri Krishna Sweets, proudly welcome you to the fourth session of Understanding Swami Vivekananda, commemorating 125 years of Swamiji's return to India after his momentous speech in Chicago. This session is a conversation series with inspired personalities from various walks of life to inspire the youngsters of today and help them build a resurgent India. Today, I also would like to extend my gratitude to Shasan Jain College for Women for being a great supporter to this session and helping us, bring students onto the platform to interact with today's guests. I now proudly present to you today's two honorable guests. It is my honor to introduce them today. Mr. Alagesan Tasari is an old student of Ramakrishna Mission Students' Home. He holds a bachelor and master's degree from BITS Pilani and MBA from Durham University Business School, UK. He has worked across various businesses and currently serves as a Director of Technology and Engineering, SKF Group, India and SEA. He is an active volunteer in social and community services of Sri Ramakrishna Mutt. Thank you, sir. We are elated to have you here. We also have with us Mr. Thiru M. Murali, Sri Krishna Sweets, Chennai, who is a very well-known personality for his philanthropic activities and always engages in doing good for our society. Sir, we seek your blessings today and request you to inaugurate today's session and deliver a few words. Thank you, sir.
Namaskar, namaskar. Really proud to be the fourth section of this. Amazing. Lot of youngsters is connected with this ALBE. And what to know about something, understanding Vivekananda, it itself, it's something marvelous. Without understanding Vivekananda, there is no meaning to talk about it. Because it's totally what I say is very, very powerful. Not only powerful, it is energy. We say Vivekananda, we got energy. Vivekananda, name itself a mantra. So this is a powerful person. Last two sections, I just told that the three words. No, every meeting you must take away from 2 or 3 words about Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda, that make the life change. Sisters and brothers, the 2 words that make the life change. If you think about sisters and brothers inside, every day, 10 times or 11 times or 108 times, then you can see everywhere that the energy level is totally different. You can see anything within a connectivity. That is, once it's become part of your life, Vasudeva Kudumba, that comes. You love everybody, whoever it may be. Once you have become a sisters and brothers, they are all your families. Same thing. I just think about Mr. Alagesan. He was love Vivekananda. He observed Vivekananda. He lived with Vivekananda. Swami is within him. He became a Swamiji's taste and everything. Whenever the same thing, once the Swamiji always say, you want to be Vivekananda. என்னை போல ஆகணும்னு நீ நினைக்கிறியா? You want to become a Swami Vivekananda. உனக்குள்ள அளவற்ற ஆற்றலும் அளவற்ற அறிவும் வெல்ல முடியாத சக்தியும் இருக்கிறது என்று நீயும் நினைப்பேயானால், அந்த சக்தியை உன்னால் வெளியே கொண்டு வர முடியுமானால் நீயும் என்னை போல ஆக முடியும். What a word. You feel you have an extraordinary intelligence, extraordinary energy level, extraordinary power within you. It is already there. When you realize that, and then you take it outside and show all the things with pure love, you are becoming the Swami Vivekananda. Lot of Swamijis in now our month, they are the part and part of Swami. They are part and because they understand that energy level, what is within. So I'm extremely happy to be part of this. Another thing always Swamiji say, you need three things always within you. உணர்வதற்கான இதயம், சிந்தனை திறனுள்ள மூளை, வேலை செய்யக்கூடிய கைகள். Just imagine. Because if somebody say the same, a lot of people say every day, a lot of people say about this. You must have hard work, you must have brilliance, you must have a pure heart. Everybody say, a lot of people, this is a very common words. But this verse from Swamiji, it's become a mantras. It's have its own values. Once you understand this from Swamiji's words, you take it is a Swamiji's word. You put it in your mind. You convert it into your heart, become a purified heart. You converted your energy levels become excellent. You converted your intelligence become what do you say, doing good things. Your hands work for others. You feel the difference. You feel the difference. You're something else. So I'm extremely happy to be the part of ALBE. Thank you, Mr. Agasin sir. You're all the way to be part of this. And thank you, my dear students. You learn a lot from here. You take one or two things from every week. One or two sentences from here. Put it in your life the next week. Completely, you use that same thing in your week, all the week. Then you take another two words. Put it in your life. You are becoming a Swamiji. Your thoughts become a very pure. You can feel it. Thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Very nice of you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for everything. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words. And now, moving on to the session, we are very much excited and happy to have you today, sir. So, yes, sir, there are students from Shasan Jain College for Women today here to interact with you and to gain a lot of knowledge from you. All of us are really eager for that, sir. So, before we start with the interaction session with the students, I would like to go with the first question, sir. So yes, sir. So going through your portfolio, knowing about you in the past few days, we realized that you are an avid traveler who loves to explore different places and their different cultures. So in this due process, sir, did you ever find a binding factor among all these cultures despite their differences? And like, did you ever experience spiritual tranquility exploring these different places, sir?
Yeah. Well, before I answer the question, let me introduce myself. And thanks for the question. So I came from a very small tribal village where I'm the first one to be educated. That was courage, maybe from my mother, who wants her children to be educated first rather than going and working under the sun all the time. Just imagine somebody coming from a rural background and somebody spotted you and then brought to Chennai, that big city. It was full of fear, even enter into the students' home. And again, to be very lucky, we are just celebrating 25th anniversary of my exit from Ramakrishna Mission Students' Home, and I joined on the 100th year while we celebrated 125th year of Swami Vivekananda. So I'm so lucky, and a lot of coincidence while we celebrate Swami Vivekananda's return after Chicago speech. So when I went inside the students' home, the first and foremost, the day when we entered inside, we saw Swami Vivekananda, and the three words or three sentences which are written in front of us there is: one is believe in yourself, fear is death, and the other one is the arise awake and stop not till the goal is reached. I was very small, 9-year-old, but that gave a lot of confidence. at one time, maybe I could break the barrier and able to conquer the world. Not necessarily conquer the world, but I could able to come out of those fear where I don't know, people gonna understand what is that fear is. Today, there are a lot of sources, but the day when I entered, I couldn't have any source other than the Ramakrishna Mission, where they are providing free boarding and lodging. But the place gave me a lot and lot. What I'm today is just because of those 10 years what I spent in the students' home, where I learned values, practiced values, and lived through, and which has keep me going even today. And again, to your question on traveling, so I traveled a lot. Maybe in the work which I chose, or the kind of interest which I inherit over a period of time. So I traveled around the world and around the India as well. One thing I found, which is very, very common among us, we're all human beings first. So first and foremost, wherever I go and talk to many people in many countries, many part of India, many part of the world, I don't see any difference in having interaction, and the people respect people. It was fantastic. And moment you say you're from India, the first thing they ask, or the first conversation which get into is spirituality, right? Again, there is a huge difference between spirituality and religion. But first of all, they talk about spirituality, and maybe the recent times whenever I have been traveling to many places, they are talking about yoga. So because this has been invented from India and has been horizontally deployed across the world. Again, that's one thing been seen. But the other one is, again, there are a lot of the differences, meaning people or countries are in different phase today, and different countries have different priorities. We are talking about sustainability, they are talking about capitalism, people are talking about a lot many different things. Even in India, we are talking about poverty and all those stuff. But the use of technology and some of the sustainability practices, what we inherited over a period of time in India, whenever we go and talk to some of the Western world, has been highly appreciated, meaning we are not so materialistic and put the world end of era, but those practices are really, really inspirational for many Westerners. And the commitment and simplicity and spirituality of us, whenever we have a conversation with those people around the world, is really, we get a lot of respect, from those people. So again, that's the maybe a short answer to your first question, but we can talk more about it whenever you have more questions on this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now we'll move on to the interaction with the students, sir. These are students from Shasan Jain College for Women. And the first question is from Nahin Nadia, sir. Yeah, Nahin Nadia.
Good day, sir. My question is, according to you, what are two most important things to be learned from Swami Vivekananda, and what made you choose the path led by Swamiji?
I can't say only two. There are many. As just our Murali sir said, things should come out from inside out. You have to grow inside out. No one can teach you, none can make you, and there is no other teacher but your own soul. Again, this resonates to me every day. This is a very famous quote of Swamiji on this particular aspect. This one thing keep me going. Whatever decisions I've made in life, it is the inspiration what I got from Swamiji. And the other one is, again, be the servant while leading, be unselfish, have infinite patience, and success is yours. This also same. I started my career as a welder in a shop floor after my diploma. But I always have an aspiration to grow in a career. But those 3 years being, work as a shop floor employee and what do you call, I won't say he's a servant, but again, that kind of experience, and then move to a leadership role, which gave me a lot different perspective. So these things, these two, one is be the servant while leading. The other one is you have to grow from inside out. Is the two thing maybe I would say which motivates me all the time. And my all-time favorite quote is arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Whether you are in a good mood or bad mood, there is a saying, right? This shall too pass. Likewise, this the one arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. So that will take you places and keep going, whatever we would like to aspire in life. So that's those two are Nahin.
And what motivated you to choose the path laid by him, sir?
Everything is a motivation. What I'm today, so it's because of Swamiji. I've grown in the vicinity of a lot of monks, and also heard many lectures, and attending prayers and reading books of Swamiji, Ma, and also Sri Ramakrishna. Every time when somebody comes and speaks to you in the school time, everyone started talking about Swami Vivekananda and how they came up and what motivates them, and everything what I learned from the school, what I learned from Swamiji through the quotes and books, it really motivates me to keep going. In fact, someone asked me during the interview, you are too young to be this position. I'm just 41 years old. So the rest all of my peer is 15 years ahead of me in terms of age. This doesn't bother me, but at the same time, there is always a question in a place like India, age is given more preference than the knowledge or other things. Maybe now it is something different, but those days it's really difficult. But the kind of the motivation, the courage, or whatever I learned from these institutions, and when we exhibit through my leadership, through work, and developing myself and developing others in different institutions, make me going. So, and that gave me a lot of motivation every day, and I could able to achieve things in maybe this materialistic industrial life. But there are a lot to do. I'm still aspiring for those areas which is not explored.
Thank you very much, sir. It was really inspiring.
Yeah, thank you, Nahin, and thank you, sir, for your wonderful reply. Next, moving on, we have Maheen Sadia with her question, sir. Maheen Sadia.
Yes. Good evening, sir. My question for you is, what are your views towards values such as responsibility and humanity in today's fast-pacing and ignorant world? Drawing influence from Swamiji, what would be your suggestion to youngsters regarding this thing?
Yeah. Now, again, one thing which I learned over a period of time, the biggest donation one could ever make is a time. And from Swamiji's word, service to mankind is service to God, right? This morning I was in a function, a United Way, where we were distributing scholarship for a lot of girl children, and particularly from the rural background. So on a conversation we were talking about, the cities are having surplus money, and the cities are having surplus volunteers, and cities are having even surplus CSR money. The money spent on rural is only 3% today. So rest 97% are spent on the urban areas. But all of us know that, large majority of people are again living in the rural places. But again, the reach to rural is not at all going there. So I feel, in terms of responsibility, when we have been talking about how do we reach those rural places, and how do we make those people also be motivated and bring on the same slate, to compete in this world. This one, the service to mankind, service to God. If you go back and talk about or read about some of the quotes or lines from Swamiji, he's talking about all those rural people. He's talking about all about how we have to bring those the talent from the rural to urban or to the world. So how do we go and bring out that empowerment is really important. I think that's a responsibility what we should take in the fast-pacing, ignorant world, what you're talking about. Again, youngsters today maybe in a different lens, they are seeing different things about their success and their fame and what they want to show and all. For me, so the time which you give to bring someone to your level or to beyond your level is the real responsibility to the humanity, I would say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And thank you, Mahin. Yes, so moving on, the next question is by Shrutika Sivaganesan.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma.
Sir, actually, being a student can really be tumultuous. So, especially when we are worried about future prospects, career, and all. So, from your personal experience, which principles of Swamiji you would think will help the students to stay motivated and inspired during the tough times, sir?
Again, one line I would like to read from Swamiji's passage. In a day when you don't come across any problems, you can be sure that you are traveling the wrong path, right? Be it a student, or be it a professional, or be it whatever, spiritual or whatever. So again, this comfort zone, I think most of us, what we define today is finding a place to be comfort, right? That is not going to help us. That is not going to, what do you call, that is not going to even stay motivated, right? Because you're going to be in a place where you're comfortable. You're moving out of those comfort zone is going to be the real thing. So I would say, from my point of view, most of us are chasing shadows, not the vision, not the sun. If you walk towards the sun, your shadow would be behind you, right? So when you walk towards the sun, the shadow will automatically follows you, right? So I would define the sun as the vision. We need to walk towards the vision, and all other things would follow us, whether it is a position or salary or wealth or fame or whatever. But if you turn opposite and start chasing your shadow of fame, wealth, whatever, it's impossible. Is anyone can chase their shadows? No, you can't catch it at all. So I would say maybe other way around: chase your vision, chase the sun, towards the sun, and all other things will follow on its own. So, but the vision is really important. So we can keep fine tuning the vision, but we need to have that vision, goal, objectives, what we want to achieve, what we want to achieve as a purpose in life, and all those. So those things, I think, would really, I think, be a student will motivate you as well. So go and write it down and what you want to, and then chase your goals.
Sure, sir. It was definitely, it will be helpful for all the students to get motivated and stay inspired.
Thank you, Shrutika. So the next question will be asked by Aarti Jain.
Good day, sir. Uh, Management of time is something that most of us find very difficult to inculcate in our daily lives. And being a person with tremendous workload and other voluntary work, how do you manage your difficult schedule and balance between your professional and personal life, sir?
Right. Again, every one of us have 24 hours a day. Me or Murali sir or Purnima ma'am or every student here, right? We can't manufacture time. Everyone has the same time. So what is really important is the priority, right? Whether hang on to WhatsApp for 1 hour is a priority, or get out and do some useful work is a priority, right? So today we struggle a lot on this priority setting. One thing I think I learned the routine in students' home. I learned some habits in the students' home, which is still, keep me going, like waking up at 5 and then do your regular stuff and meditation, prayer, and all those stuff. So you have to allocate time and stick onto it, right? And then we need to prioritize. We are not God, like, we can do everything. So the jack of all is not going to be helpful at all. So it's very important what we want to, and we need to choose the right one and prioritize. And this also been talked about many people. It's not only me what I'm practicing. Even sometimes I also do off track, you know doing many things, and many things will keep failing. So my experience is just prioritize what we want to do, and focus on that and get rid of it, and do thing once at a time, so not too much into it, so that we can able to focus, prioritize, complete, and then go on. Okay, so that's really important to manage time. So there is, people used to say, oh, you have to go and attend a training program on management, time management. Even we have in our own corporate for time management. I'm seeing the same people comes back again the following year and looking for the same training again. So it is not something someone will come and teach us what is the time management. It's all how we manage ourselves, right? Because it's in our control. How we want to get distracted or how we want to get focused. It depends on us how we want to be. The self-control, really important role here. Again, don't go and seek or even any number of advice was not going to help you unless you take it up and practice on our own. So, okay, one is priority, focus, and what is relevant to achieve our goal or objective is really important. That's the only way to manage your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Aarti.
Thank you, Aarti. So moving on, the next question is going to be by Kirtana Krishna Kumar.
Good day, sir. I have a question which is a bit out of the topic which we have been talking since. Going through your portfolio, we have seen that cooking is one of your interests. Sir, could we please know the story behind this vivid interest apart from your work, and who kindled that particular inspiration in the particular direction, sir?
Well, see, I'm a situational victim. It is not that I want to cook, but I developed this as a hobby. I lost my mom when I was a very small child, meaning I think I was 7 year old, and I have one younger brother and one younger sister. At home, we have to cook, without mom. So that's the first time or the place where I learned how to cook a simple meal those days, right? We don't cook 3-course meal or 5-course meal and all. It's like some millets and some curries. But later, after my studies, when I get into work, so we stayed in a hostel, and those gave me a lot of opportunities just to live on your own, right? So where you can't offer to go and have your meal every day in a hotel, we have to cook ourselves. But while cooking, I learned a lot. One is patience, what is really important in cooking. So and that gave me a lot more reflection while you stand and cook some meal, for self or others. And it's also a perfect product engineering. Maybe I shouldn't talk more about food when Murali sir is here. Is a perfect product engineering mix of different materials and heat treatment process. And some of you, maybe an engineers, could understand this. And it could be different quantities. Is a perfect chemistry, product engineering, and all, right? So being an engineer, I always love try different things and try different combinations. And when you serve and people are so happy having that compliment is which you never get from anything. Even if you give somebody 1 lakh rupee, they won't give you that return when people tasting your food, right? So that's always really good. But this also gave me different sometimes interest to study when I travel around, why people take bland food, why people take so much of cheese, why people take so much of spicy food, and all those. There is a reason behind all those. This also given a lot of interest towards reading what is the science behind it. So this became more of a hobby, and I also try different varieties. I think the largest group which I served while I was in the UK, where I was making all Chettinad varieties for all these British people of my own colleagues. I've invited to home, and then we served. It was really good because they never had this kind of same potato, but in a different taste, same beans in different taste, adding some flavors onto it. So again, so that's the real thing. Even today, I keep doing it oftentimes on the weekend. That's one of my stress buster. Whenever you come back home with a lot of stress at work, or you want to think something different, you want to solve some problems, get on to cooking. So you will get a lot of solution to it. So again, that's my passion towards it.
Okay, so thanks.
Thank you, Keertana. And sir, actually, you built up this whole idea about cooking very strongly in my head again. I love cooking, and you telling it is like a real good motivation for me to keep doing it. Yes, sir. So moving on, the next question is by Shrutika Sivaganeshan again. Yes.
Sir, actually, again, this question is for the students. And there is actually an unending clash, we can say, the urge to work for the society and to prioritize our own career. So, from your experience, how can we, as students, strike a balance between a successful career and being able to serve the society at the same time, sir?
Yeah. No, this one thing I was even keep talking to many people. Even today, we had a big conversation on this with some of the students. Self and society is not two different things, right? We are living in community, right? So it's not that we have to go and serve some other community which is far away, or people non known to us. Even this is inculcated in our own company. I'm just talking to my own employees. What is really important is even employee social responsibility. It is not that only a corporate social responsibility. The employee social responsibility is also like how can we help our own colleagues, right? There are many people have different problems, and they have different things in life where they need help. So develop yourself and develop others could be a great thing. The urge to work for society and for our own career. Okay, so oftentimes we should not do like this. I go and spend 4 hours, then only I will say that I serve the society. Even serving your own friend, serving your own next door neighbor, it's also serving to the society. That's really important. So that's, what we develop ourselves is also really important, right? And where we can go and get a help from others could be a great service. And how we go and help other students or our colleague at work, or listen to them. The empathy part is also a big thing in society today. So rather than we go and talk for about 50 minutes, we can ask them to talk and we can listen, so we can learn more about it. So those things also serving to the society, even serving to the community. If you have that in mind, so you don't really bother about it is hindering your career. Rather, it is a complement in your career, where we learn a lot and we also develop others. Like leaders or teachers, right? At the same way, teachers are leaders too. If you are not able to learn properly, we can't teach. The same way we can't um, teach, then we are not giving anything what we learned. So similar way, career and serving to the society is not two different things. So it should be blended, and whatever is we are capable of, we should go and do it. So again, I'll go back to my previous conversation. The biggest donation to any service is a time. So it's not about money. So if you can able to spend time for others, to inspire, to impact, to help them, that itself is a big service to the community.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir. I understood.
Thank you, Shrutika. And yes, sir. So before we move on to another question, sir, what are your personal anecdotes of serving society and being a part of social service in your day-to-day life, sir?
What I'm doing, that's your question?
Yeah, I mean, yes, sir. Your contribution towards social society, service, so that we take inspiration on how to work. We have an idea on how to go ahead.
So my answer is not going to be different than what I just said. So I work with a lot of my colleagues, and I help them and I inspire them every day. How did I come up? And there are many people come and take it. So I mentor them as well. At the same time, I also take reverse mentorship. Students like you, growing in a different era today, and they have a different smartness altogether, and different mindset altogether. So I'm talking to many other youngsters as well here. How do we bridge the gap of two different generations? And I also I have some specific time, maybe on the weekends. I spend most of my time volunteering at Ramakrishna Mission. You know, whatever work they're assigning to me, or the work which I interest to me, so I just go and participate. Whether it is a rural health camp, or it is an education where we go and take part in some of those teachings, or I have my own foundation. So there's an interesting story. On 2013, along with my cohort in the students' home, we are about 51 of us. We came together. We started a trust. So we registered a trust, and we contribute as small as 100 rupees a month minimum. And there are people who contribute more than that as well. So we take up different activities. One of our main mottos to educate women and girls, and we could able to do that. So part of that, we go and talk to a lot of different people. Not only we just provide money and then go away. We talk to the students and give them career advice and mentor them. Take up to their, to stand on their own. The empowerment is really important for all of us. So we do spend talking to many other people too. So to summarize, develop self. I see that's the biggest thing for any community service. If I'm not developed myself, I can't able to do anything to the society. And develop others, be it on my own employees or at my people at home or neighborhood or students or whatever. And also spend time in the mud and also in the foundation.
So, is there any unforgettable or a very close memory in your heart in all these years of working with, you know, different social services, or maybe just your personal life? Any moving moment or any unforgettable moment in your life that, yeah, yes, sir.
So when we started this foundation, we want to do something to the rural places. So we were asking for a lot of different ideas, and one idea came up as the rural tuition centers. So we visited a small hamlet in a village. In fact, my own village, in fact, where I came from. One thing which we saw is the children, after they come from school, they couldn't able to focus on their studies at home. One is being a small hut of 10 by 10. Again, we all got free electricity, free television, and free cable connections and all, right? Again, the parents, after a tiring work, they come and watch all this entertainment. And most cases, the men in the family are drunkard, most of the cases, right? So the students couldn't find any time to sit and focus on their studies. Either there is no infrastructure and there is no undisturbed place for them, and there is nobody to help them out with their studies. So we set up a rural tuition centers where we went and rented out a very small place with good lighting, and we offer some snack in the evening and just 2 hours. And we appointed a teacher, meaning the same teacher who came from the school can spend 2 hours, and we give them the salary, not so much, but maybe 3,000, 4,000 per month. That gave a lot of different impact. Not only the children came there, just to focus on their studies, but later we found they built good companionship, friendship, and they also, somebody came for even for the snack what we provide. But that distracted many things, and we could see a lot more different growth in them. So that is a very unforgettable project which we did and still going on. We couldn't able to do it in many other villages, but we are doing it in concentrated one or two. That's really, really, good. And the other one, when we chose a girl child, when we gave money to her, and then I know her mom was a widow, and they have two girls, and we sponsored the eldest one, and then she came up so much in life, and she became an inspiration for all of us, where she is spending a lot of her time going and talking to many orphanages, and she is donating her own money. So that's an unforgettable moment where we picked the very, very right child, and we impacted her life, and we inspired her life. So that's really, really an unforgettable incident.
Thank you, sir. The more and more we delve into this interview, the more and more we get to know about you. And I'm really grateful I'm the facilitator for today, sir, because I'm on a one-on-one conversation with you and getting these anecdotes. It's really inspiring. And the thing is, it gives this positive outlook towards life. Thank you for that, sir. And yes, sir. Moving on to the next question, it's by Deepali.
Hi, sir. So, I personally believe change is something that is constant and nothing remains same forever. But as humans, it's very hard and difficult to adapt to these changes. So, would you enlighten us with few tips that can help us adapt to change and thrive?
life is full of choices, right? It's really important, where we want to be and what we want to become. So that's what Swamiji said, right? Believe in yourself. And we all need to understand the species which can change to the environment is the only species can survive in this world. Again, there's a difference between the comfort zone, or we want to go out of the comfort zone. So in many ways, change is the only constant. Who thought that there will be a war today between Ukraine and Russia, right? So people adapt to the change, and they are finding their own way to cope up with life. So this is what do you call? This is true for every one of us. There's nothing that it is constant. The change is for every one of us. So be it if they are in any field or any profession, we need to go and adapt. That's really the important one that we all need to follow it today. If you're not going to cope up with change, either we will not achieve what we want, or just be happy with whatever we have. So then you can't aspire for, you can't complain about it. So for me, change brings improvement, change brings development, change brings a lot of different things in life. Change brings excitement, change brings prosperity and all those stuff. So the same question being asked to me few years back, because this is my 6th company, and I always change companies in different genre. Meaning, I started with TVS Motors, more of a mechanical company, and then I went and worked for Airtel, which is a communication company. And from there, I went on work with Nokia, and from there I went on to Wipro Technologies in a finance background. So it's all different things, but all these changes gave me a lot of different perspective. And then I went on to Caterpillar, which is a machinery company. And then when I chose to work for Bombardier, which is a rail and aerospace or aircraft manufacturing company. So people ask different things, how you cope up with and all those stuff. But I find it so interesting to take this risk and get on to different places and learn different things. That gave me more of excitement, in fact. So changing to different things. But also comes with the risk. So no free lunch, right? So always risk taking is really important. So I found it so interesting. I found it, particularly me, I can't stay in a same work, or maybe doing the same monotonous work for not more than 3 years. So you need to have something, excitement coming in to improve upon yourself. So this is really important. This is a really important one.
I can actually relate, sir. A lot of times I don't stick to things. So can I add another question, sir?
Yeah.
Would you like to share an important, a moment in your life which was the hardest one to adapt, the change which was very unexpected or very tough one?
This came in when I moved as an expatriate to UK. We lived there for about 5 years. The initial days was very difficult to understand. So again, I learned a lot from Swamiji. If you see the movement of Ramakrishna Mission, when he came back from Chicago, and then he thought about it, and then he put it together, a lot of rules and regulations and policy and all. I never seen an organization which gone beyond 100 years, right? In a community service. It's a big enterprise. Ramakrishna Mutt is a big enterprise. So I often go back and read about many books of Swami Vivekananda, how he made those kind of policies and procedures, which is still together today without any cracks or nothing, right? And it's in different countries, in different forms, and different community services and all. So though that give me a different lesson when I been in the UK, it is not that how we want to live. It's also important how we would like to live with others there as well. So the history, the root, and their emotions. Um, even the small words which we use, the appreciation or the um, uh, some of the behaviors, like because we grow up here, our beliefs are getting into actions and our actions are behavior. So when you are in a new land, so that gave me a different perspective to go and learn from their society. So I go and talk to them about how their family is set up, what do they like, how do they communicate, uh, what do they appreciate, what do they do not appreciate. So all those. But that's a very, very good moment where I could able to thrive. Um, Close to about 60 odd people report to me at the time. All are more of a British people. It's a wonderful experience where I could able to manage them in their own country, in their own culture. But first 6 to 8 months was so difficult. So that adaptive change was really, really tough.
Thank you, sir. It was great talking to you.
Thank you, Deepali.
Yes, sir. Thank you. There's like one question that I wanted to ask, sir. In the beginning, Murali sir talked about values of Swamiji, and how do you think we can, inculcate these values in our day-to-day lives without, having to, be remembered that these need to be inculcated? How, to inculcate them in our lifestyle, in our day-to-day lives, sir?
So one thing we need to understand the difference between values and habits. Many of us we try to confuse this both, right? Someone say I have this good habit, so I have the value. So it is not. The value is something inherent, something which is has to come from inside. How we live or how we practice, how we behave if someone is not looking at us, right? So if you're in a room alone, how you behave, how you action, somebody is not looking at you. So that is the character or that is the value which we will bring in. Um, and value is a big subject. Every company today talk about value, integrity, value based. It is about decisions in life. We are distracted with many, many things in life, right? So how you would take a decision in a particular situation, so that characterize your value or how we put the value into use. So it's not about something which I read for 1 hour and mug up, then I got all the values. It's all about how we live, how we lead the life, and what value base we are, getting on. So that's really important. For me, the value is that I should not hurt or, um, make somebody feel bad, or I'm not making a negative impact on others. That could be the value which I want. And also, I have my personal values on the integrity, what I would like to bring on. Since I studied from these institutions, I learned a lot and a lot of values, including helping, how do we handle money, and how do we where do we spend money is also really important one, right? So it's not only earning money, but the true happiness, the true fulfillment you would get, where to spend that money and how to spend. So that's also really important. So there also plays a value. um, this all comes in the way we lead it. um, but again, this had a lot of reflection you need to have. So I can't just sum it up in 1 minute. This is the value and this is the one, but we need to experience it. The value which we learn from our parents, the friends, and the colleagues, and from juniors too. I learned a lot of values from my juniors in my own company or in the people which I worked with. It could be as small as not telling lies while they come to work, or even when they do some presentation to you. Even that's a great value what they pursue, right? So it's all something which we live every day, to sum it up.
Thank you, sir. So before we end the session, one question is, what is one thing you want to say to all the audience today? Like anything from your life, or something to help us move on during these difficult, uncertain times. And also, it would be great on a personal note to tell us your cooking tips and travel tips. That would be a great takeaway for us, sir. And your special recipes, it would be wonderful to know them.
No, I don't have any special recipes. I learned different things at different time. One thing which I would like to, just to reflect upon, if a person from a very small tribe and can come out and came up to this level, meaning there are a lot more to explore. I'm not done so much, maybe a couple of percentage maybe I've achieved. So everybody can do this, right? So I want to inculcate confidence within every one of us I'm talking to. We are all, born to do a lot more higher things in life. We are all capable, as Swamiji said most of the time, right? So everyone are capable of. Believe in yourself. And he keep talking about this fear is death, and fearless is life, And we also need to work on the thing like take up an idea, make that idea in your life, dream of it, think of it, live on that idea. And this is really, really important in today's world, where it is a distracted world. We have so much of information around, but we don't know how to process that information where we want to focus on. So take the help of elders, take the help of friends, and take the help of your well-wishers, and have that idea and then work on it. That's a really, really important one. If I can able to do it, you can also able to do it, right? So and today's generation is much more informed, much more smart, and much more knowledgeable. The thermodynamics, what we used to read in third year bachelor's of engineering, today has been taught in class 11th or class 12th. So that's the change what we have seen in this last two generations. So utilize it. That's really important. So you're born to do a lot more higher things in life. So don't get into, again, following your shadow. Just follow your vision, and shadow will follow you all along. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was great interacting you. It was my pleasure. It was everybody's pleasure to be here and be a part of this interaction. Thank you very much, sir, for giving us your time. And to end this session, I would like to thank Mr. Murali, sir, for giving us his time today, and then being associated with ALBE Academy and believing us in our these sessions. And I would also like to thank Shasan Jain College for Women for volunteering today and making its students a part of this session. Thank you very much. Thank you to the audience, because without audience, our sessions are one way. Thank you, all of you. Thank you very much, sir. Today was great. We learned a lot from you, and this will always remain in our hearts, all the lessons we've learned in this 1 hour. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for the great opportunity to interact with all of you. Thank you very much.